Gosh darn it, we were so freaking close.
If you make this, we will release the Epstein Client List. Okay? All right, let's see it.
Yep, rejected. As that's the question on everyone's mind, as Donald Trump soon will be at the DOJ giving his law and order speech. All of this as there's some serious questions still remaining about the DOJ, their prosecution powers. What are they going to be doing, especially when it comes to the Second Amendment? And now, more importantly, Tesla owners are also going to have extra protections here. All of this while right-wing commentators are getting swatted more than ever. What's really going on here? Is there a conspiracy unfolding? Well, that's what a lot of people think is happening. Now, Donald Trump's address here at the DOJ will be very important. Now, according to a lot of the sources, the conversation will be specifically about fighting crime, fighting drug use, and going after some serious hardened criminals. This, as of course, Trump will be making the appearance at the DOJ among, quote, major reforms that are happening under the new Attorney General, Pam Bondi. As Pam Bondi took to Fox Business and described the larger kind of mission of the DOJ under her leadership.
President Trump's mission was very clear. His directive was make America safe again. That's what we're going to do. No more weaponization. We're going to go back to fighting basic crime, getting these cartels out of our country by securing our borders, prosecuting the worst of the worst, seizing the drugs, which is what President Trump has directed us to do since the second he's been in office.
This, as of course, the previous administration was focusing on parent-teacher school conferences, pro-life activists, right-wingers, online independent journalists, and anyone in the kind of echo chamber of critical thought against them. Yeah, anyone who wanted to hold them accountable. Oh, yeah, they were also really great at ignoring victims of Epstein and children that came to them and allowing prolific predators out there, not just Epstein, a couple of them, Nasler is another one of them, just to reign free, walk around. Will Pam Bondi be different? That's still the question that remains here. But let's continue on with what she had to say on Fox News.
And lock up the violent criminals as long as we can behind bars or seek the death penalty. And that's what we've been doing. You know, we've signed death warrants. We've to seek the death penalty since he's been in office. It's not business as usual.
Personally, I'm against the death penalty. And just saying that I signed a death warrants. Again, I don't think that's the proper approach here, even though clearly the approach is we're going to scare people so they don't commit crimes here. Some people believe that approach works, but at what cost to our larger kind of society is the question that some people ask themselves. Personally, I do believe we have absolutely been very soft on crime, and in my opinion, there were many leftist billionaires that have aided and abetted criminals in order to create and sow division and chaos in our society. I'm looking at you, Mr. Soros.
We are going back to the basics, fighting violent crime, and taking these drugs off the street is the main component of keeping our kids safe.
Yeah. Now, if you really want to go after criminals, you want to go after some of the worst people, you go after the career criminals. You go after the people that are in our legal system that are clearly abusing it, that know how it works, and are able to skirt the law through their many years of being able to buy people off. And to me, truly, until the Epstein Client List is released, there's still major looming questions about how this DOJ will be run here, as there are some Republican attorney generals that are praising their teamwork, working with the Fed here, and I'm saying, okay, like this is just the beginning here, but this is not the time for praising yourselves. This is the time for focused, concentrated work specifically around those Epstein files, because the developments of how everything is unfolding here is extremely troublesome to the average consumer, to the average United States citizen that's asking the question, where are those files? And where are we going to be going from here? As the developments here are specifically, Pam Bondi did hype this up in the beginning and then kind of delivered a big nothing burger, redacting files that were already released and were out there to the general public. Then there was a little back and forth. Now she says she got a truckload of documents from the FBI field office that was hiding them. Allegedly, one of those, officers responsible for the FBI field office in New York City had to resign and go into retirement. I think there should have been a little bit more of a heavier-handed approach because those are the real career criminals. There was reporters that are asking the White House press secretary, okay, what's next here? Because all we know is that there's a truckload of documents here. What's going to be happening next year? And then she referred them to the Department of Justice that hasn't been giving any updates on this specific story, nor hasn't given any timeline to when these documents will be released. As, of course, many people are now saying, they probably won't ever be released, as the cover-up is probably well underway as those documents are destroyed here. Now, Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, came out and said that the reason that the truckload of these, the reason that these documents haven't been released is because they are going to lead to prosecutions of the individuals that are named in them. Now, that's a very convenient thing to say here, as, of course, Alina was saying this on the Benny Johnson show. Now, she's not officially a representative of the DOJ. She's not officially any kind of larger kind of representative. She's speaking for herself here. And if she's wrong, the blame is not going to be on the Trump administration. It's not going to be on the DOJ. It's going to be on her. So we all patiently await here. But there's something else bigger here at play. Before getting into that, as now the Senate Democrats also have some very interesting questions surrounding all of this. We wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop, one of the best shops out there. We got some really awesome, great, incredible products available to you on our store that we personally curate, that we personally mail out the products to you, and you name it, whether it's Common Sense Creatine, the Chill Pill, Essential Fatty Magnesium Glycinate. You go up here, we got TakeCalm.com, but truly, really some great stuff. The product that I started off with was ashwagandha. Really, really great, important stuff, especially when it comes to males, testosterone, working out. If you're a pregnant female, I don't recommend taking this. I don't recommend taking it more than doctors recommend 3 months out of the year. Huberman recommends 1 month out of the year. I'm just a little bit more careful, but this stuff has absolutely helped me out because previously I was a mess. I was dealing with anxiety. I was dealing with panic attacks. I had 4 chins. Now I have 2. I dealt with just so many horrible situations in my life where my diet was crap. I wasn't working out. And one of the things that transformed is actually working out, going out there, doing 10,000 steps, focusing on my sleep. But supplements helped me out tremendously. And I think one of the best supplements that helped me out, especially when you're dealing through high levels of stress, this thing helps you lower your cortisol levels. It is ashwagandha. Just make sure you do your own research. Make sure it's right for you. And when you do your own research, when you find out, oh yeah, this stuff's really powerful, this stuff's really great, I should probably think about taking this. You always start off with a small dosage first, and then you kind of see, hey, how do I feel from this? And then you start taking it on again, and then you start, how do I feel? That's how you're supposed to do it. Incremental small changes, as of course supplements are meant to supplement changes in your lifestyle. As of course you just start popping pills, nothing's going to really happen. You really have to start focusing on it. But supplements, in my opinion, made the biggest difference in my own personal life, and that's why we got into wearechange.shop to provide you some of the best stuff out there. So go check it out, and at the same time you support this independent media network while you support your own independent health journey, which I think is more important than ever. Now, we have another article here of MSNBC, as now this larger issue has become a major target for Pam Bondi and the DOJ, which many people are using it as a way to question what in the world is going on here. Now, other than those developments that we just read off to you before telling you about our incredible products, we also now understand that Pam Bondi put the attorney who was a part of the Ghislaine Maxwell case on leave, as a lot of people are saying that this was in part due to them also not complying here. This is also the same federal prosecutor that worked on the Eric Adams case. Eric Adams kind of flipped political parties and came to the Trump administration and said, hey, I'll help you guys out. I'll back you guys up, and I'll show you where the skeletons are buried. But these charges about me getting an upgrade on a flight, and are a little bit bogus since I wasn't playing ball with the larger immigration policies that the Biden administration tried to force on us. That's essentially the long and short of it from my own interpretation. Now, Pam Bondi has a very difficult job. She's facing a lot of very serious questions now. She's facing a lot of documents that the FBI gave her. Now, the official version of events now is that we're just waiting to redact it. It doesn't take that long. How many documents are we dealing with? Can we at least understand that? We were told truckloads. Okay, that's a lot. But this should be priority number one out of everything, because we still have high-level profile players out there in our society that are on that list, that are shorting Tesla stock, that are major players in the financial world, in the banking world, in the entertainment world, and in Washington, D.C. And if you have compromise on all these very powerful people, your ability to govern and to lead when you have compromised individuals that are working against you isn't going to be that fruitful, as a lot of people have now come to the larger conclusion that the reason we haven't gotten this list is because there's probably some high-profile people connected to this administration that are on it. That's the allegation now, and that's the allegation that a lot of Democrats are running with and are using it as a weapon. The best way to get rid of their weapon is to show transparency, is to show accountability, and to, of course, release the document and to try to hold these people accountable. I think there's a lot of people that need to be brought in for questioning with this particular story. I've been laying out the arguments for who. I've been laying out the arguments of where the bodies are buried, where there's additional documents, where there's additional evidence. And again, I'll reach out through some of my own kind of sources to try to help out as best as I can here. But if you've been watching this video, you're absolutely very well informed about this entire situation that I've been talking about for an extremely long freaking time. It's frustrating because, this was an essential issue. This was such an important issue, and it still continues to be a very important issue. As now Pam Bondi will be allowing DOGE to come into the DOJ to look at some of the receipts, to see where some of the money's going to. And this might help unravel some of the larger kind of bigger issues at this administration that clearly has a big track record of punishing people for their political ideology. Now, a lot of people say, well, will Pam Bondi be able to depoliticize the Department of Justice? According to USA Today, she already politicized it for the opposite way. And again, everyone will always have something to say. Everyone will always have something to critique. My perspective is I still am praying for the well-being and safety and the courage for all of those individuals who are going to be releasing the list. Why? Because it's a dangerous job. There have been many people that have lost their lives throughout these entire endeavors. There have been many people that have been threatened throughout this entire endeavor. And you could bet your bottom dollar there's probably an exorbitant amount of stress and pressure right now being put to hide and cover up the bigger truth here of what is really going on here. Now, will the young whippersnappers at DOGE be able to turn something up, find something, find out what's really going on at this administration? I hope so. Elon Musk described a situation. Elon Musk has been very vocal about the Epstein situation. He's been connecting the dots on a lot of people who have been attacking the Tesla stock with the Epstein Client List, by the way. Wonder why it's of key importance to try to hold these people accountable. But Elon Musk explained a situation where the ship has a crew on it that doesn't like the captain. There's a new captain. The crew doesn't like it. They're insubordinate. They're not playing along. And to steer the ship in another direction when you have a crew that doesn't want to work with you, doesn't like you, is politically not aligned with you, it's extremely difficult. So this is what Elon Musk has explained to what is happening now with the DOJ, with the FBI. Now, Pam Bondi also just extended another deadline. Since there was multiple deadlines about the RFK, JFK, MLK documents, those got postponed. Epstein, those got the deadlines aren't being met here, which highlights the argument that Elon Musk is making here. Now, Pam Bondi also now is extending the deadline to recommend policy changes on self-defense and the Second Amendment. Now, what policies will she be moving forward? This will be the ultimate test, because when she was the Attorney General of Florida, she was passing legislation that was against the Second Amendment. And that's an important, distinction to be made here. What will be her recommendations? Will it be pro-America? Will it be pro-freedom? Will it be pro-right-wing conservative ideology? Or will it be the previous policies that she passed in Florida, which I thought were not good policies? This will also be a larger hallmarker of her rule and tenure at the DOJ. That will be a key marker to look at, that, of course, we're going to be reporting on to you. As the ATF now is in the hands of Kash Patel, how will he change their awful leadership, their awful policies, their larger decrees that put innocent American citizens in jail while allowing thugs to run around with Glock switches in Chicago? How will that larger administration be changed here? That's going to be interesting to look at. Now, another thing that happened and goes along with what Elon Musk was describing is that the White House just halted their FBI background checks for senior staff, and they shifted them to the Pentagon. So instead of now going to Kash Patel's organization, they're going to the Pentagon to get research on individuals that want to work inside of the White House and a part of this administration. Now, AG Pam Bondi is also describing how this DOJ will be transparent again. So far, they haven't. When they are, they will get respect for doing that. But so far, they haven't. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Trump's lawyer is right here, but I reserve my skepticism, since that's the only thing that has been true here all along. A lot of people are saying she's in on it. We'll see. I still think we're in this time period where we could give a little bit of grace. We could say, okay, if there are charges, I'll eat my words. I will apologize right away. I'm sorry. I was wrong. But I think right now, more than ever, there should be respectful questions asked in a way pressing and pushing this issue to the forefront, since it's of extreme importance, not just for Donald Trump and for his leadership and for his agenda, but for the thousands of children too. The thousands of children that were hurt before and the thousands of children that will continue to be hurt if these predators are still out there walking in the streets. So, lots of really bad people out there. As Pam Bondi also said, that if you attack a Tesla dealership or a Tesla, you're looking at 20 years in jail and facing terrorism charges. Okay, that's fine. All right, I don't know how to feel about this personally, because, again, I think a lot of this is tied in towards more attacks on the stocks and the financial future of Elon Musk, which they're trying to protect here. But some people are saying this is justified. Some people are saying that this is a stretch, that this is an overreach. And I still have to, ponder about this more before I give my exact kind of opinions on this. But to me, there's also a lot of other priorities. Priority number one, show people that you are transparent. Show people that you are going to, of course, not be just politically motivated here, and that you're going to go after the real worst hardened criminals in our society. Those criminals are the ones that hurt small children. There's also a crazy story unfolding right now in the United States, where a lot of Republican commentators are being swatted, as people are saying, why don't we look into this stuff? Should be a little bit more of a priority. But again, everyone is having their own priorities, having their own kind of perspective here. And for me, I still remain skeptical. I still think there needs to be a deliberate push for this story to come out as fast as possible. There's a lot of implications. There's a lot of threats. There's a lot of dangers here. Let's pray for everyone's safety. Let's pray for everyone's courage. And let's pray the right thing happens here, because your prayers actually do matter. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange. Get the supplements. We've got some great stuff. And deep down, I appreciate you guys for allowing us to be here to talk about these stories for so freaking long. And it means a lot to me. So I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.